You filed your patent application. Now what? Many inventors feel like they're waiting in the dark at this point, and that's not a good feeling. So in this video, I'll explain what comes next in your application so that you're not caught off guard. Hi, I'm Colton with My Patent Guys. We make patenting easy by helping inventors protect their ideas without overpaying or overcomplicating the process. If that sounds like something you're interested in, schedule a free consultation with us today. See the information below. Now, let's walk through the post-filing process, looking at the major milestones you may experience along the way. The first milestone is the filing receipt. This comes a few days to a few weeks after filing. This is issued once the USPTO determines that your application has met the minimum requirements to receive a filing date. Nothing published or filed after your filing date can be used to block your patent. The filing receipt typically includes a foreign filing license, which enables you to file for patent protection outside the United States. You now have a limited amount of time to file for patent protection in other countries. At this point, your application enters the USPTO queue. It is classified into a technology area and then assigned to an examiner. Another important milestone is the publication of your application, which occurs at 18 months after your earliest filing date, also known as your priority date. Until then, your application is private. No competitors or members of the public can see it. Once it's published, however, it becomes searchable and anyone can find it and read it. There are two exceptions to publication. First, you can request non-publication if you plan to file only in the United States. Also, if you abandon the application before publication, it may be possible to avoid it being published. Publication often surprises inventors, so it's important to know that this step is coming, because at this point, your invention is exposed to the world. The next major event, which may come before or after publication, is the first office action, to which you'll have a limited period of time to reply. The examiner has now searched earlier patents and publications, compared them to your claims, and is explaining the parts of your invention that already exist or would be obvious to create. A lot of the time, this entails one or more rejections. But here's the most important thing to understand about this. An initial rejection is not necessarily a bad sign. It actually means that you're testing the edges of your patentable space instead of leaving valuable areas of protection on the table. Think of your patent protection as a pie that you initially choose the size of. The bigger the pie, the larger the scope of protection you have, and the more valuable your patent will be. If you start out with a big pie, your patent examiner may require you to cut out parts of your pie to have an allowable patent. But it's typically better to cut out a few slices of a large pie than it is to have a small pie that remains fully intact. This back and forth process with the examiner is called prosecution. And at this stage, you still have full flexibility to amend your claims, clarify your invention, and argue why your idea is different or non-obvious to what's already out there. It's important to note that you may not add new material to your patent during prosecution. If you want to do that, you'll have to file a new application. So it's critical that you include all the important details that you might need about your invention in the initial filing. According to recent statistics, the average application has to wait about 22 months to get to this stage. However, this statistic is highly dependent on which technology area you're in. So if you want to get a more accurate estimate of your wait time, check out our patent timer. Just put in a brief description of your invention, and it will estimate how long the first office action will take. If the examiner maintains the rejections despite your response, you may then receive a final office action. At this stage, you have a few options. You can pay to enter a new round of prosecution, you can pay to appeal the decision to the Patent Trial and Appeal Board, or you can pay to file a continuation application, which could include adding new material to your application to help. Many patents go through a final office action before they're ultimately approved. Now, the milestone that you really want to see is the notice of allowance. This means that the examiner agrees that your claims are patentable. At this point, you pay the issue fee, the USPTO prepares the patent, and the patent officially issues. You receive a patent number and your patent rights. You can now enforce the patent, license it, or sell it. Also keep in mind that you'll have to pay maintenance fees on the patent every few years to keep it active. So, there you have it, the 5 milestones you might experience after filing your patent application. The filing receipt, publication, the first office action, the final office action, and a notice of allowance. If you understand the basics of these, the patent process becomes a logical and predictable exercise. And remember, examiner rejections do not mean you failed. They often mean that you've aimed high, and now you're in a good position to obtain the maximum scope of protection for your invention. What's your experience been with the application process? Drop us a comment to explain. And if you found this video helpful, please share it with someone you know who doesn't like to wait around in the dark. Thanks for watching. I'm Colton with My Patent Guys, and I'll see you in the next video.